let's hit our next topic. And we're getting good on timing today, 9 o'clock on the dot. So getting into Mandalorian yet again.
Try not to cry. Try not to cry. Stay calm, Omar.
All right.
It's
So
over.
like I said in the beginning of the video, and I'm going to repeat what Sahid said. You know, last time we talked about Mandalorian. If you're not caught up, what are you doing with your life?
Right.
You know, you have to prioritize. Hopefully you're at home a lot more than you were before, like the rest of us. You should be watching TV. Should be watching Disney.
Get somebody, call a friend with the login, and do
Yep.
what you have to do to watch the show. I just told my friend about it the other day, and he was like, "Do I need to know about Star Wars to watch it?" And I was like, "No, just turn it on."
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
And then like the next day, or like the day and a half later, he's like, "Yo, I'm on episode 8 of season 1." I was like, "I told you."
Holy crap! Yeah,
I told you.
Dang.
yeah.
I mean, and the funny thing is, season 2 is so much better.
It is.
It is. It's a huge difference.
Yeah,
It really is.
But I would also say too. I mean, to kind of what Nicholas was saying, you don't have to watch Star Wars. I'm not a huge Star Wars nerd. These guys are trying to get me to watch Star Wars Rebels.
Needs to be done. It needs to be done.
I'm holding off on that.
If you're still like running through Final Fantasy 29 for like the 6th time,
whatever,
you can watch Rebels.
Yeah.
But my point being though that
29.
I haven't. It's a great show where if you're not super into Star Wars, you can enjoy it. But there's things for people who actually have watched those. Like I watched Clone Wars, right? I am familiar with the rest of Star Wars, so like seeing Ahsoka or seeing Luke just going. Oh, can we talk about Luke going ham on freaking those?
I think we got to get through we got to talk
Yeah.
about some other stuff in the episode first, man. We
Okay.
can't just jump to.
Fine.
Yeah, I know.
Can't just jump to it.
But hey, but really quick on this topic though, I think that, you know, like me, and I talked to you guys about this before, like I'm a huge Gareth Edwards fan, right? Director, the guy that directed Rogue One. I grew up being a huge Godzilla fan. You know, and why am I mentioning that? Because when the first time I heard of Gareth Edwards is I watched a movie called Monsters. Not what you would expect at all, considering the name of the title, name of the movie. Just the directing and everything. I didn't even know why I enjoyed the movie so much, but I did. Eventually, I realized it was just like superb directing. And then I found that he was directing the Godzilla 2014 movie that was coming up, and I was like, yes, my childhood, you know, like fascination with Godzilla, and Gareth Edwards, who like I absolutely loved his last movie. He's gonna be doing it. It was like the greatest Godzilla movie for me, you know, in my opinion, ever since I was a kid. And then found out he was doing, you know, being a big Star Wars fan, that he was going to do Rogue One. And of course, Donnie Yen from Ip Man, another one of my favorites, you know, was going to be cast in that. I mean, that turned out to be a huge movie. So yes, I came into that movie with a biased opinion already, a biased mindset. But the difference is most of the people agree with me that Rogue One was the best Star Wars like film ever, until season 2 of Mandalorian, or my man, Jon Favreau, has just been doing phenomenal. And I think because of him and season 2 of Mandalorian, this is becoming the new Marvel. And he did direct the Marvel movies, right?
Yeah.
I think he did Iron Man 2, actually. Wait.
No, he did Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Iron
so
Man
he's
2
done great things.
Jon Favreau is that guy, man.
Yeah,
yes.
But the reason why he's on it is they try to make Star Wars like the next Marvel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's exactly the reason what they're trying to do. What I liked about season 2 is that you can tell that they're trying to split off, and a lot of these kind of Splinter Cell shows are coming off that Mandalorian season 2. Ahsoka's having her own show. New Republic's gonna have its own show. Boba Fett's gonna have its own show.
Sebastian Stan.
Huh?
Sebastian Stan.
Skywalker.
Okay, sure. But like normally when like they do that, like in like Marvel movies, like the worst Marvel movies was when they were trying to like promote other properties without focusing on like the movie itself. So
Avengers Ultron.
Oh god, like Ultron. Oh my god, it was so bad. That's like the perfect example. Iron Man 2 is similar.
Yeah, definitely good Iron Man 2. But yeah.
Yeah, but Yeah, they did. They did not have this problem in Star Wars. Like I saw Ahsoka, she was great, and can't wait to see a whole season of her badassery.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely, man.
yeah,
The Mandalorian season 2 was literally the Star Wars gateway drug for the
Yes.
casual fans.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that right there is I think this is gonna go down in Star Wars history as the best thing that has happened to the franchise since the original trilogy in the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see
Empire
a lot more
Empire
Star
Strikes
Wars.
Back is still my favorite Star Wars movie. Just put that out there. Empire Strikes Back is still my favorite Star Wars film.
Out of the trilogies, I think I agree with you.
What did you say? You said Empire Strikes Back is your first one and your best one, and what?
It's still my favorite. Still my favorite Star Wars film. Still my favorite.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I like
this season.
My favorite Star Wars film.
Zahid likes The Last Jedi.
No, I like Star Wars Episode 1. With Jar Jar Binks. Everybody loves Jar Jar Binks, right? Right?
Moving on.
Hold on. I'm gonna kick him off right now. Hold on, give me a second.
No, I mean, so this is the thing. Like, I felt like season 1 did a good job of kind of building up who Mando was, and you're not really sure where it's going. It's kind of got this western-y vibe to it, but like set in the Star Wars universe. Season 2 was like every episode something significant happened. It gave you something to talk about. It has so many moments. I mean, when Moff Gideon pulled out the Darksaber, when you saw Bo-Katan, and when you saw Ahsoka Tano, I mean, it's just like every time, every episode, Boba Fett, even the first 2 seconds, I'm like, what are you doing here? And then you don't see him for a little bit, and then he comes back and he's just like murking everybody. And I mean, he was. I think his show is going to be good too. The Book of Boba Fett, because when he came in those end credits, boy,
that was really interesting because he took. I don't know if you caught that for you, especially Sahid. That's where Jabba the Hutt sits, and so he was originally because he was the one that originally employed Boba Fett to kill Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting, but that's going to be a whole separate show. So I think he's done as far as the Mandalorian series goes.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to be interesting to see where it goes next, right? And I think
I
I
already know, man. So this is the thing. So like, Mando has the Darksaber now. So technically, he is the ruler of the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
So
right. There's a good twist. That's an interesting
great way to start the next season. Like, how does that play out?
I want to see Sabine Wren.
How does Bo-Katan deal with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, so Omar. So the guy that Boba Fett kills at the end, right? That was like Jabba the Hutt's assistant. Do you remember? He was the guy that was kind of whispering in his ear.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was trying to get. I mean, he looked smaller like in the older series. He was trying to put that Jabba.
He got fat.
I was trying to put that Jabba the
Well, yeah, it was that quarantine COVID. Fat, sitting at home all the time.
God, tell me about it. Oh God. I'm excited to see what they do next. So let's talk about the
elephant in the room.
Let's do it. The elephant in the room.
Let me start, and you guys can eviscerate me about this later. So, like everybody, like when you saw that X-wing come in, and then you saw that green lightsaber come out, and that's when it started registering to me. It's like, wait, is this Luke Skywalker? Like, what? Yeah. And he starts just going ham, like it's got to be Luke Skywalker. And then when you see the glove,
exactly,
glove, that's when you see that. I'm like,
I was like, no way,
that's Luke Skywalker. And then he unmasked himself.
Called it earlier.
You both did. I was saying it wouldn't happen.
Then he unmasked himself, and then I wasn't that surprised because the deepfake was just not there yet.
Yeah. That it was pretty bad.
Yes, it was the same in Rogue One, actually. Like the part that I didn't like about it was when they had like Leia.
I didn't think Grand Moff Tarkin's face was that bad.
So it
wasn't.
Pretty good.
It was pretty good.
So Tarkin's was pretty good. You're right, Nicholas. But Leia's was like, wow, It was tough. She was only in there for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I appreciate what they did. My only concern with that now is like me being invested in Grogu now, like being the kid. Like, what's gonna happen to him? You know what happened?
You'll see him on the new Luke Skywalker TV show.
Yes,
I hope he gets one. I hope he gets one.
Needs to pay him whatever he wants and bring in Jon Favreau also and get that ish done.
Well, Jon Favreau is going to be a part of it regardless, right? Like,
so there's articles out where Jon Favreau is basically saying like, hey, like Luke Skywalker is one of my favorite characters.
Nice, and, good.
You know, I want, just like everybody else, like I want to see him, you know, done, you know, the way that a lot of the fans wanted to see, right? It's like, you know, how powerful was he, right? You saw him early on when he, you know, could barely move his lightsaber, and then when he's like an old crotchety, you know, when Rian Johnson screwed him over in that movie or whatever. So,
right,
you know,
and the issue is
let's see the real Luke.
No, for sure. The issue is that Luke Skywalker, like going into like actual Star Wars canon, correct me if I'm wrong, is pretty much supposed to be like the strongest Force user in the Star Wars universe. Is that a correct statement?
Yep.
Out of like, I guess, mortals. If
well, wouldn't Leia be there too, or no?
Nope.
Well, I mean, like number one.
But,
I'm not
but
too
she
sure.
she didn't train like he did.
Apparently she did though, right?
No, she had some training. No, she had some training, but not like Luke, not like him, right? So the problem is that we, the fans, never got to see that Luke, that really, really strong Luke that's been part of the story for 40, 50 years.
Exactly.
Right? And we saw at the end of like Star Wars, the original trilogy, which is where Luke's story had ended, right? Because then it went back into the prequel the prequel trilogy, and then it went into the future trilogy, right? But the original trilogy is where it ended with Luke, and in the story, it was after that where he became extremely powerful, started the Jedi Order, rebuilt the Jedi or a Jedi Temple, started a new Jedi Order, a little bit more similar to like the whole gray Jedi concept. But what happens in all of that time, we finally get Luke Skywalker back, and we get a whiny old wimp that looks like he was dragged out of his retirement home. They tossed him a lightsaber, and he was just like crying and died of exhaustion.
And drinks green milk.
Yes, there you go.
I will say this though, Omar. What you described, Luke, though, all of that was part of the Legend stuff, which Disney canceled, right? So maybe Jon Favreau will bring it back.
Yeah,
right?
he's probably gonna.
So that's so.
If it's him, he'll probably keep that. If it's someone else, they'll probably change it.
Well, we'll see. I mean, two points, right? Number one, they're not going to change what happened to Luke Skywalker, which we all will agree is heartbreaking. Right?
No, I don't want to agree. I want them to say it's no longer canon and redo it.
Canon. You spent billions of dollars on it. It's going to be canon, right? Because if they're going to make
movies based on I hear it. I read all sorts of things, man. I don't know.
It's going to be canon. They're not going to cancel what they did. They're not going to cancel what they put billions of dollars that they put out there.
Man,
I will say this, I question to you guys though. So Luke Skywalker is the most powerful Force user, right? And I mentioned to you guys earlier in our chat, right? He's like Superman, right? Like, so he has like the Superman problems, right? Where he's just so powerful, where you can't really take him seriously, right? Anymore, right? I mean, like Superman.
There's a difference between him and him and Superman. Like Superman, the way he's been written is like at one point, like he's already invincible, but then it's like he has unstoppable strength and this and that. So it's hard to have anybody challenge him. Mm-hmm. The thing with Luke is that he has to progress up until that point. And where you're seeing him right now, this is a young man in his prime. He can, he can fight and he can do all this stuff. I actually just realized that there may be in Star Wars lore somebody who was arguably stronger or just as strong, and his name is Revan. I don't know if you guys played the Old Republic or are familiar with that. This is
online game, right?
Yep. This is someone who started off as a light side user, very strong in the Force, and then became a Sith and one of the most powerful Sith in history. Came back from that, and it was like he is the guy who had access to just everything.
So he basically came back from death. I think the story was, if I'm not mistaken.
You know, that's one of the, there's a Revan novel. Haven't read it. You know what I mean? But I do know that he was the one guy who, hey, I've been on both sides and I mastered both sides, right? And Luke was obviously master of the light. He had the dark temptations like his father did, but you know, he mastered the light. He used some dark side stuff because he realized there had to be some balance or whatever. But you know, I think that's the one guy that I think is actually stronger.
Yeah. Well, that's a Legends guy, right? He's a Legends guy.
I think he's canon.
But that's also like a.
I don't think so. But I mean, I have to look that one up. But yeah. But you know, like in the latest movie, like Luke was chasing after Sith because he had a Sith Wayfinder and was trying to find Sith for some reason. You guys remember the last series?
No. Remind me about.
He was looking for.
I don't remember that.
He was looking for Jedi artifacts. What was it, like the Sith had the artifacts, had what he needed to start like the school. Like he's looking for documentation and information for his students.
So Omar, do you remember in Rise of Skywalker, right? That movie is trash, I'm sorry. But part of the movie was them looking for the Sith Wayfinder. That like they had to find a knife to go to like the ship so they can get this Wayfinder, this little green thing that Luke apparently had put in his like X-wing to find Sith or whatever, because he was hunting for a Sith or whatever.
Okay, so that's the only Star Wars movie I ever watched once, and it was in the theaters. So I'm dead serious. So yeah. I saw it in the theater and I never watched it again. So
I've been meaning to watch it again, but I just can't quite bring myself to it.
You guys loved it though, The Rise of Skywalker.
Only like certain aspects of it, but for the most part, it was.
I hated it.
No, once I saw, so I was like watching it, and I was like, because I wanted to know what was going to happen, and you get to the end, it's like they call it The Rise of Skywalker, but they're all freaking dead. So who rose up, right?
Ray.
Who, you know, and now, so Ray's a Skywalker. Wow.
Ray, because she says she's Skywalker.
You know what I mean? Get out of here. Where's my Lion King gif? Like, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Like, that was horrible. but let me get back to the show real quick, because So, because I knew I liked Moff Gideon's character, and I still think I don't think he's gone all the way. And I liked his plan, because I was like, it can't be that simple where they're just gonna go out here to this dude's ship and just have this distraction, and Mando goes and finds Grogu, and while they take care of him, like it can't be that simple. And it wasn't. Like I was thinking to myself, he has to be better than that, and he was. He was like, I'm just gonna be here with Grogu. Everybody's looking for me. Why would I just be here with Grogu? Yeah. So
I do want to say, sorry, I'll wait till you're done because I want to talk about his fight with him though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was leading into that because he was like, I already know. Which one? I've already done everything. I already know everything. So I win. That's basically what he was saying. You know what I mean? And I just love that he was like, I've done it. I've already done it. Yeah. So you can have the blade.
The fight scene was.
You can have the kid.
You know, he was smart. He was smart in the sense that, like, he fought with the blade, and he knew that it was a double-edged sword, right? Yeah. For Bo-Katan, right? Because she knew that she wanted it, and if he lose, that was him kind of winning, right?
Yeah. Genius.
So, genius. Like, he did try to kill himself at the end, but still, like, he still had, like,
you could see how terrified he was of Luke Skywalker. I mean, I honestly believe that's why he tried to off himself. Like, this is the dude that beat the freaking Emperor.
Like, right. Yeah, great point. I thought so. The guy, Mandalorian, God, what's his name again? Real name, real life.
Something.
No, real life.
Pedro
Pascal.
Pedro Pascal. Yeah. So I like him as an actor, right? He's been in some cool other shows. He's been in I think it was Narcos.
He's awesome in Narcos.
Yeah, and Game of Thrones, obviously, like I think like most people, is where we saw him for the first time. And I absolutely loved his character from the moment he was introduced in Game of Thrones. And then they showed that fight scene between him and the Mountain, in the arena, and he had the spear. So my favorite weapon that I train with is a 6-foot staff, which you can use interchangeably with a spear, right? Spear is a little bit longer, but you use them in almost identically the same way. So watching how he used the spear in Game of Thrones, I was like, that's freaking phenomenal. It was really cool. I loved the choreography that he did. And then a couple episodes ago in The Mandalorian, when he's getting that full Beskar spear, I knew why they made it a spear and not like, a Beskar sword or like a rod or something, right? Because he's good with the spear. I think that's actually him in real life using it. I think he's actually skilled with it. So during the fight scene with him and Moff Gideon, okay. Say good night to everyone.
Good night.
Okay. So in the fight scene with him fighting Moff Gideon with his spear, that choreography was amazing. And seeing how tough he was, this is so hard to do, to focus. So seeing how tough, right, they showed him, they gave him really, really cool moves on purpose. They waited until that moment in the last episode of the season to show like how much of a badass the Mandalorian, Din Djarin really is when it comes like hand-to-hand fighting. And then all of a sudden Luke shows up and it's just like, everything that he just accomplished on screen was just like nothing.
Well, they did a great job showing the gas and power. That was a huge gas and power.
Before you get to that part though, when he was sneaking along in the ship and trying to get there before they activated the Dark Troopers, that fight scene was good too, because I wasn't sure he was going to win. I thought that was going to be, what stopped him from getting to the kid, and then somebody else was going to have to come bail him out. And
that's actually exactly what I thought. Yeah.
So that whole scene was genius, in my opinion, right? Because that happened. They showed the power of the Dark Trooper, right? They showed him like fighting the Dark Trooper, and I was like, we saw him kind of go one-on-one against Ahsoka too, right? Yeah. So he can hold his own, right?
Yeah.
So that really shows.
Great point again. Yeah. Luke. Absolutely. And Ahsoka's really freaking tough, by the way.
Yeah.
And he faced Mando, Ahsoka, Luke.
He faced Darth Vader one-on-one, by the way, in Rebels.
That was a good one too. That was a good scene too.
Oh, yeah. That was incredible to see that. And then, that whole, I think, second half of that episode of episode 8 was literally, I think, made just to like bring in Luke's introduction and make it even more like badass. I mean, it was just incredible. And you guys said this, when we've talked privately, I've said this, that this is the Luke the fans deserve to see.
That's right.
And we need a series. Get Sebastian Stan in on it, so we don't have that, crappy deep fake CGI. Save you a lot of money. Get it done. He's a good actor. Wasn't he already in a Star Wars movie? Wasn't he in like Rogue One or something? Or
Captain America?
I thought maybe he was.
He's got this.
Okay.
Obviously, he's a good actor.
Speaking of Rogue One, they're apparently making a sequel to Rogue One. I don't know if you guys saw this.
I heard. Yeah,
I
didn't know if that was legit.
I don't know if it's a sequel or if it's another show, because the guy who died, who died is from I want to say Alderaan or something like that. So the show is supposed to be based on that and like his group or his exploits or whatever on that planet. What I did like about the Luke Skywalker thing, though, was like you see the X-wing come through, door opens, it's smoky. You see the lightsaber. And everybody has a
green
shit moment, right?
Because only a few people had a green lightsaber at that time.
Right. But what I immediately thought back to was, this looks just like when Darth Vader was coming through that scene and killed all the rebels. Right? Yeah. It was like the same thing. Got introduced the same way.
So
both of them.
My understanding is that it was a homage to that scene, right?
Yeah.
That final hallway scene when like the elevators.
Wow,
open,
I didn't consider that.
And then like oh man, Omar, come on, man, you gotta get on your game. So they actually have like a side by side. How do I know this, Omar? Come on now. So
because you saw Rogue One. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, I mean, they had a side by side of it, right? Of Luke's and Vader, like
right,
and it was a lot of scenes. By the way, that Rogue One prequel is called Andor.
There you go.
Patty Jenkins is gonna direct that one.
Yeah, so, I like her. I like Patty.
She's great. She's a very underrated director. Like she's been good.
I don't know who that is. What are some notable things?
Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay, I like her.
In the sequel, and actually, I read an article too. Because you know how at the end of Wonder Woman, they kind of when she fought Ares was like this overblown like CGI spectacle. She was actually trying to go a little bit smaller with that.
Yeah.
But as has been the issue with like almost every DC movie. Here comes Warner Brothers. Hey, we think that it's just like if you just stay out of it, then you'd be winning. You're
1,000% right on that. So the problem with DC movies in general is just Warner Brothers. Like they're coming in and they're like, I don't even think Zack Snyder's that great of a director. I just don't. I'm sorry.
He's a visionary.
But I still think it would have been better, right? If he just let him do what he does.
Yes.
I mean, it would have
made sense. It would have made sense.
It won't be a Chris Nolan movie, but it'd still be a decent movie, right? And like they totally screwed him over in Justice League.
You saying Warner Brothers screwed over Zack Snyder?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So what happened?
I thought it was the other way around.
No, so this is what happened. Look, Zack Snyder, he's a little crazy when it comes to like movie theaters. Again, I told you guys he wanted to rape Batman, but whatever.
I mean, we haven't gotten the source from that. I mean, that's just
I will give you the source from that. They actually
give me a source, man.
All right, so this is going to be our next episode that we've been promising.
Exactly.
Marvel and DC.
Yeah, get off the rant.
Okay,
man.
yeah.
So
I'll get you guys. I'll get you next time, Omar. I mean,
when Luke comes off that ship, I saw him use like force push, force crush. Like he was using all these different powers. The lightsaber work was dope. I mean, like.
And the Force Crush, by the way, is more of like a slightly darker side power as well, from my understanding.
Yeah. So it was funny, right? So like I'm watching it with the wife, and she was like watching the show. I mean, she's like watching it, but she's just kind of like whatever. I'm sitting there like this.
Right.
Right.
No, Nicholas is like this. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I don't think she do like how high.
Heck, that was me. That was me, and I was watching it alone. But I think you have to like to really appreciate it also, right? Like having that background of like watching the old movies and kind of just following that story, right? And seeing that progression of like that old Luke, I mean, old for us, like young Luke, right? Mm-hmm. And then seeing wimpy Luke that we recently got in the latest trilogy, and now you see the Luke
retiree.
Yeah, right. Now we see prime Luke, and it was just like crazy. I'm like, wow.
And the funny thing is too, The Last Jedi is what you're talking about. I didn't think it was a terrible movie, but like I hated it. It's a sad.
Where's my delete friend button?
I didn't think it was a terrible movie, but I hated it because it created the Rise of Skywalker, which is just a horrendous movie. It just a bunch of like.
Well, I mean, it was an attempt to correct it, but so The Last Jedi, like I said before, The Last Jedi is a good movie if you didn't really care about Star Wars. If The Force Awakens was like the introduction to Star Wars, The Last Jedi was probably great, right? Because you just didn't get it. But for everybody else, it's like, yo, what are you doing?
I think if J.J. Abrams couldn't have done it, I don't think most of the people would have been able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I really think, Rian Johnson screwed up the entire trilogy with, the Last Jedi.
It was a mixture of that. It was a mixture of kind of studio interference as well, right? So Finn got a much depleted role in the last movie, and that's because
that pissed me off too. That pissed me off too.
Because they're trying to cater to China, right? And yeah, that's just unfortunate, right?
You remember the first trailer? Like it started with Finn out there on whatever planet, Jakku or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh snap! Like
they got a black guy.
A black guy in Star Wars, right?
Like other than Lando Calrissian, that's
Yeah.
And then in the Rise of Skywalker, all he did was say Rey's name. That was it. Rey! Like, come on.
Oh my god.
It was really bad. Well, it's between him and Rose, the Rose character, were like probably the two most like just screwed characters.
Yeah,
ever. Which like her character was just messed up in the Last Jedi, just at the beginning. Like it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, there was so many untied, like what's the word I'm looking for? There's so many like characters that we didn't get. We got foreshadowing and we got like images of certain characters, but we didn't get like enough story for any of it to even like make sense.
Yeah.
So like they didn't close the loop on so many things that they introduced, which made absolutely zero sense. And I'm really hoping that they make this series with hopefully with like Sebastian Stan. If not, then hopefully someone maybe who's even better. But whatever it is, I hope they make a Luke series and they take this 19-year gap between, I read an article that from the moment of this episode 8 of this Mandalorian season 2 up until the fall of Luke's new Jedi temple that he's yet to build in the timeline is a 19-year gap. There is so much that can happen in 19 years. 19 years right now going back, I think includes like 4 or 5 movies. I think like a total of like 10 to 11 seasons worth of like Star Wars shows. That's just going back within the last, like, I think maybe 15 to 20 years. So imagine
I feel like it should be longer. Like it should be longer than 19 years. I mean, he was old as hell in
No. So that's the fall of his Jedi temple. So I don't remember how long it was. Anyway, I was just reading like.
You're right.
I didn't know. I didn't look up the timeline after that compared to the new trilogy, how long it was. But that's just from the fall of that, and so that's what really, set off a whole bunch of other events.
Well,
but
I hope for you guys' sake that they do make a wonderful Luke Skywalker. I'm a little bit skeptical simply because
you were also skeptical that Luke would be in the show. So
yeah, that was me too. I was the one saying that they weren't going to bring him a big name character.
Fair enough, but
Mandalorian.
they deep faked him, right? Yeah. We all know that deep fake technology, as we saw, is just not there yet, right? So are they really going to risk like having a different face? I wouldn't mind it. You guys wouldn't mind it either, obviously. But are they really going to do it? So
how about this?
They look a lot alike.
We're on air right now. I will bet you a bottle of what is your drink? Woodford Reserve. That's what is your drink.
Oh no.
Isn't it?
I'll go with a 1792.
All right.
Dairyland Food Line, 2%.
Don't worry, man. I'll get you some Bud Light.
Get out of here.
All right. So 1792. And if you win, I'll get you a bottle of 17. If I win, I'll take a bottle of Remy 1738.
Okay.
Sebastian Stan will be.
I'm not taking that bet.
Why not? You don't think there's going to be a show, right? You don't think there's going to be a show?
I said, you didn't hear me. I said I hope that it gets a show. I hope it gets a show.
Hope is different from saying that's different.
There's skepticism there.
There's definitely skepticism. But
so
look,
I'm saying, put your money where your mouth is.
Watch John Favreau watch this. He's going to watch this podcast and be like, we got to make a show. Let's get him right now.
I will send John Favreau the link to this YouTube.
Hey, tag him and put the timestamp for this.
So put your money where your mouth is.
Nah, I mean, like, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful we get the amazing Luke Skywalker show that you guys are being, very chatty and giddy and girly about. But yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I would love to see it. But that was amazing. That last scene of Mandalorian. So yeah. Let me ask you guys this: what's next for Mando?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, the show can go in so many different directions. I mean, they could almost do, if they wanted to, a Game of Thrones style deal with, Mandalorian society and who gets that saber. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a lot that can go on, man. And the thing is, like, he doesn't even want it. He doesn't want it. He can't give it away. He has to fight her to get it, or somebody has to defeat him to get it.
Or maybe she should just get over herself, right? Just get over it. He took off his mask, right? He said he was never going to do it. So maybe she can just get over the fact.
That's true.
It depends on how much of a true Mandalorian she is, too, right? I think she's.
Well, he said that she wasn't a true Mandalorian because she took off her mask, right? He did it twice to save the kid. So he been.
No, that's definitely going to change in the next season, in my opinion.
Well, they had
about bending the rules.
They had a debate in one of the episodes about his lineage. Anyway, I might have to go back.
Yeah, they did. Yep.
Because he, what if he isn't an actual Mandalorian?
Yeah. He's not. He was adopted.
Yeah, he's a foundling.
They already told Boba Fett about himself, right?
Yeah.
Your donor called his dad his donor. I was like,
yeah. Yeah.
I loved that interaction. She goes, "I've heard your voice all the time, right?
Heard your voice 100 times.
100 times, yeah. Right? Referring to the clones, like that's just.
I love that. That was a great scene too.
That was awesome.
That was a great scene.
That was. Yeah, I highly recommend for anyone that's not familiar with that's watching this. I think it was episode 2, where Obi-Wan goes and visits like the clone factory in like that water world.
Yep.
I think it was episode 2. Yeah. No, not Geonosis. That was a world with the flying bugs. The movie episode 2.
Yeah, Star Wars episode 2.
Sorry, yeah, Star Wars episode 2, the movie.
Yeah, Rise of the Clone Wars or Start of the Clone Wars or something like that.
Yeah, it was Clone Wars, right?
I gotta Google that real quick, man. Hold on a
minute. But they talked about Boba Fett, because at that time it was his father Jango Fett, and how basically like how those clones were being produced. So one thing I was never clear on was Boba Fett a clone, or was he actually like his true son, unlike the rest of the other clones?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm not clear on.
It was a unique son for him. I can't believe I know this before.
It was unique in some way. I don't remember how.
He's a clone.
But he has the accelerated aging. He doesn't have that.
Yeah.
He's yes, you're right.
He was his personal clone. You see that in if you want to go watch that kind of movie.
No, but all of the clones were his personal clones. The main thing is, as Nicholas said,
that he didn't have his personal clone. Like if you watch the movie, I can actually bet money on this one for you guys now.
No, I'll go back and watch it. It's been a while.
No, he requested that he get his own clone to be able to raise as his son.
Oh, that's what you mean by his personal
clone. They made it
clone.
so that he didn't have the accelerated aging. Don't question me, son. I know this stuff. Don't question me.
I'm not questioning you. This is exactly what I
said. All right, so we're over the hour mark now. All right, and now we're starting to get more into like the Star Wars movies. It's always hard not to, because season 2 of The Mandalorian ties into so much stuff. It's so cool, so well done. So Mandalorian, or Star Wars fans watching this, I know we've been trying to get away from The Mandalorian, as our consistent topic from every show. We're sorry,
you
but
have no
not
choice
sorry.
now. It's
right?
over.
Sorry, not sorry. But yeah.
The name of the planet is Camino.
Camino, yes. Yes. Thank you for that. You guys got any other final comments before we drop off?
Yes. We are now on Spotify.
Nice.
The Targeted Podcast is now on Spotify. I'll be posting the link. We'll be posting the link on the Facebook page. If you follow us on YouTube, or hopefully you follow us on YouTube, right? Subscribe. I'll have a link on the YouTube page and in this video and on the channel. So, yeah, man.
Thank you guys for your support.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys. Keep those viewers up, those 2-3 viewers we've been getting. Thank you for your support. We need a few thousand more. We'll get there someday.
Peace.
Yeah.